Over the past few weeks, I did something most realtors probably wouldn't spend much time doing. I analyzed every new construction home sold in Natick, Massachusetts over the past year, which is a total of 43 homes. I studied the builders, the lot sizes, the square footages, pricing strategies, and the days on market. And something really interesting started to appear in the data. Some homes sold in as little as 8 days, while others sat on the market for over 200 days. So if you're a homeowner or a builder planning to sell in Natick, Massachusetts, the patterns in the data that I collected could have a major impact on how your property should be positioned in today's market. Hi there, I'm Abbey Valencia Gooding with eXp Luxury and eXp New Homes Division, and I help homeowners and home builders just like you make sense of all the information that's out there so that you can strategize your next move. For starters, let's look at price bands. When I analyzed the 43 homes that sold between March 2025 and March 2026, the first thing that stood out was the price distribution. 5 homes sold between 1.2 and 1.5 million, but the majority of homes, 27 of them, sold between $1.5 and $2 million. 7 homes sold between $2 million and $2.5 million, and only 4 homes sold above $2.5 million. So right away, we can see that the $1.5 to $2 million range is where most of the activity is happening in Natick's new construction market. Moving on, price per square foot. What builders really pay attention to isn't the final price, it's price per square foot, because that tells you where buyers are actually assigning value. When I analyzed the 43 new construction homes that sold, I began to see a clear pattern. The majority of homes, 27 out of the 43, sold between $500 and $600 a square foot. Only 5 sold below $450 a square foot, and 3 homes sold above $600 a square foot. So that tells us Natick's new construction market currently assigns the strongest value between $500 and $6 a square foot. For accuracy, I calculated price per square foot using the above grade living space rather than the total square footage. You see, finished basements can add great lifestyle space, but including them can distort the numbers when comparing new construction homes. Now, other analysts use total square footage, which isn't wrong, but it's important to know which variable is being used because that changes how the price per square foot is calculated. Next up is pricing and positioning. Now, this is where positioning becomes extremely important. In real estate, especially in luxury markets, success isn't just about the home itself. It's about where that home sits inside the market's strongest price band. For example, one home at 8 Greenleaf Road sold in just 8 days at asking price of $1,950,000. Another home, 74 Farewell Street, sold in 8 days at the asking price of $2,150,000. But when homes fall outside the strongest or most common price bracket, the results can look very different. One property on 10 Whittier Road took 225 days to sell, and it ultimately sold for $110,000 under asking price. Another home at 40 Highland Street sold at $175,000 below asking. This proves what I've been reinforcing from the beginning. A brand new home that is light and bright with everything done right on the inside and the outside doesn't guarantee you'll get an offer that you were hoping to get. You must consider where your home sits within the price bracket starting from day number 1 on the market. If you're too far off the grid, buyers just hesitate. Therefore, this data tells us that pricing and positioning are critical in this market. Next up, days on market. Before we look at days on market in detail, it's important to know that the sold price and homes that are under agreement tell us what buyers are willing to pay. Days on market tells us how quickly buyers acted. This chart also speaks to something builders care about a lot, and that's absorption, which is the speed at which the market is buying available homes. When I grouped the 43 new construction sales into 60-day increments, I noticed a trend happening. 19 homes sold within the first 60 days. Another 12 sold between 61 and 120 days. So the majority of homes, which is 31 out of 43, sold within 4 months. After that, the timeline stretches. 6 homes took between 121 and 180 days, and the other 6 took between 181 and 241 days. That's 6 months longer. What this tells us is that there's a strong early absorption window in Natick's new construction market. If a home is priced and positioned correctly, buyers tend to act relatively quickly. But if a home falls outside the market's strongest or most common price band, the timeline can extend dramatically, sometimes adding several months before the right buyers come along. What buyers want? Another pattern appeared when I looked at these homes themselves. The most common size for new construction homes in Natick was between 3,500 square feet and 4,500 square feet. Now, most of these homes had 4 bedrooms and 3.5 bathrooms, and they were built on 10,000 to 19,000 square foot lots. And almost all of them were colonial style homes, which suggests that Natick buyers are looking for what I'd call practical luxury, homes that feel upscale and spacious, but are still designed for everyday family living. Next up, builders. Since the new construction market remains active in Natick, I also looked at who is building these gorgeous homes. The most active builder in my research was Trask Development, with 7 homes completed over the past year. Other builders include the Nardone Corporation, Silva Development, S&S Development, the Greystone Development, and Capilati Construction. What's interesting is that Natick's new construction market isn't dominated by one large developer at the time of this recording. Instead, it's driven by several smaller builders working on redevelopment projects and teardown opportunities. So some final takeaways. So when you combine all the data together, a very clear pattern appears. What I notice is that homes that tend to perform best in Natick follow a very similar formula. 3,500 to 4,500 square feet. Most of them are 4 bedrooms on 10,000 to 19,000 square foot lots, and they're priced around $1.5 to $2 million. That's where we're currently seeing the strongest buyer demand. Now, if you're a homeowner in Natick sitting on land that might have redevelopment potential, or if you're a builder evaluating opportunities in this market, I'd be happy to share more of the research I've been doing. My name is Abbey Valencia Gooding, and I specialize in luxury homes and new construction strategy in Metro West and the South Shore. If you ever want to discuss your property or explore opportunities in this market, you can reach me using the link below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.